Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel and welcome again to another episode of this Mom Life podcast. My name is Bezos. I'm a doctor and a mom, and in this space I talk about motherhood and how it affects various aspects of our lives. Let me take this time to say thank you to all of my new subscribers and viewers. I am so grateful that you are here. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I wish I could send everyone a thank you each, but thank you. Thank you from the depth of my heart. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for tuning in. And if you're yet to subscribe, do consider sticking around. The aim here is to create a community of support for mamas and their lovers, and that includes you, and also to encourage and to educate one another through this process. Thank you. Have you ever stood in front of a mirror and asked yourself things like, who is that in the mirror? Is that me? What has happened to me? How did I get here? I can't find myself. These are things that I have experienced at some point, and I know that many new moms experience. And I've come to let you know, dear mamas, that you are not alone in this. Growth and change is a normal process in life, and with womanhood, the change just seems to be on another level entirely. But this just makes me to appreciate the miracle of life and reproduction and the awesomeness of God altogether. And it is so interesting that we all experience these changes at various levels, and we also respond to it differently. For some people, the body changes so dramatically, say during pregnancy, and they accept it so beautifully, so gracefully. It doesn't even move them an inch. They never for once feel like what's happening to this body. And for some other people, they don't get as much change, but for every little difference in what they used to know and what they see now, it eats them so hard and they're like, no, what's happening here? So we all respond to these changes differently. Not to even talk of, postpartum, and then, some people are able to quickly snap back, and some others, you have to do a whole lot of work to actually snap back. But wherever you fall in this spectrum, the common factor to every one of us is change. And the way we respond to this change will go a long way in determining how we come out of this process. So first it was pregnancy, and you beautifully admire how baby bump grows through the months, and you just marvel at the capacity of the human body. You just look at it and admire the intricate work of art that God can do with the human body. And then more changes starts to set in. You look in the mirror and you see a big nose. You look in the mirror and you are so dark, and then you're wondering what is happening, in addition to the roller coaster of symptoms and discomfort. You go through all of this, and then here comes postpartum. It looks like, yeah, pregnancy is over. Now it's time to get back to myself. And you suddenly realize that getting back to yourself is now a struggle. And as a matter of fact, probably that self that you used to know before pregnancy has evolved. Not like the person does not exist anymore, but the person has changed. Your priorities change, your focus changes, a lot is changing about you. You may suddenly feel like your priorities are changing, your concerns are changing, you're concerned about baby's well-being, you don't know whether you're doing this motherhood thing well enough, you don't know whether you're being a good mom, you don't know whether you're striking the balance, you don't even know whether you're being a good wife again, because you're going through a whole lot of stuff, things are happening, you probably don't even understand yourself, and you still have a husband who you should be a wife to, and all of this is just coming at you at the same time, and it just feels like, am I losing myself? Breathe. Come on, breathe, mama. You're not alone in this. You're evolving. A new you has come. Yes, you might respond differently. You may be able to balance things differently. But one thing is, things are not exactly as they used to be anymore. A new you is emerging, and you must really now learn to understand and love and accept that new you, and also balance the new you with the you that you used to know before, so that you won't have to worry so much and struggle so much with this new identity. physically a lot has changed. Okay, so you look in the mirror, some people will experience postpartum hair loss, and then maybe you who used to have this very beautiful, long, and lustrous hair, and everything is just falling off. Some other people, it's mommy pouch. The tummy is not returning back to its initial state. Bless your soul, if you now have diastasis recti, that's when the muscle that keeps your abdomen firm is actually separated. Then you know that this one is here for quite a long time, because you're going to do a whole lot of work if you really want it to get back to what it used to be. Weight gain, I mean, you've added weight whether you want it or not. Some people really love it because they're like, oh, I actually wanted to add weight. Some other people, it's weight that they do not want, and shedding it becomes a whole lot of hard work. Your skin is also there, not looking like the way it used to be, and all of that. Let's not even go to the area of pain and to the area of fatigue and all of those things. And sometimes it just feels like nobody really told me that this was going to be like this. Like, you look at moms around you and you're like, just like me, I've had to ask many of them, like, are you people going through the things that I'm going through? Because it just looks like people do this thing and you just move on. Like, I don't understand it. And they're like, it's the same here. It's the same. But what do? We just have to move. And these are part of the things that make me want to speak about these things, because I know that it is common to most, if not all, women. But my question to you today is this: how did you respond if you're a mom who has gone through this and you're on the other side already? Or how are you responding if you're still in this phase? Or how do you plan to respond if motherhood is what you look up to in the future? Because the way we respond will change a whole lot. Sometimes it can be as far as, switching your goals, changing your dreams, maybe even dropping it for some. Some just, totally even forget about whatever it is that they loved or wanted to do, and just, zero in on these things. How are you responding to the changes that comes with motherhood? For some, it is acceptance. You just feel very graceful enough with all of these things. You're just winging this motherhood thing so gracefully, like, we look up to you. You're doing well. Please show us the way. You're just able to accept this whole thing. Maybe consciously or unconsciously. Some people maybe are just cut out for, this mom thing, and it just comes easy for them. And I mean, that's so beautiful for you, and I am so happy for you if you're in this phase. But you see, for some other people, it is not that easy. Some other people, it is outright rejection. It is just difficult for them to come to terms with the new normal. I mean, how is it that yesterday I had control over my life, my time, my plans, my goals, and today I have to revolve my life around some little humans or even some growing humans and all of that? Some people really find it difficult to accept these things. And some others are able to negotiate, okay, this is it. This is the new thing we're doing now. Okay, so what has to stay? What has to go? What do I have to drop? How do I find a balance? Some people are actually able to, weigh things on a balance and all of that. For some, it might mean, going for that gives them more time, which, may not necessarily be what they have always wanted to do, or even considering becoming stay-at-home moms because they have to be there for those kids. I mean, those kids didn't beg to come. You guys made them come, right? Yes, they are a blessing from God, but we made them come. And, sometimes you have to drop whatever it is that you're holding so tightly, your career, your goals. You want to do this by this, all of those time frames that we give ourselves, and this thing just comes in and it just changes the game. And you really have to negotiate it sometimes, because I think negotiation is one of the good ways to actually respond, right? And come to terms with the new normal and find the new balance. This scale has changed balance. Trying to force it to stay where it was previously is just going to, stress you mentally, physically, and all of that. But understanding that the scale has changed balance, I'm trying to find the new balance. Okay, what has to go to this other side? What has to come to this side? Obviously, I have to prioritize, raising these kids. I have to prioritize parenting. And, in this world that we have now, it is becoming much more difficult to raise children because you have to be present a lot, with social media, with all of these things. These things are teaching children more than even you, the parent. So if you ever want kids that turn out well, you really think about it that, well, I have to really consider negotiation in this motherhood journey. Of course, it's not just the moms, even the dads have to think about it. And that's why sometimes one of the responses that we have to, the changes in motherhood is anger. Some people are just angry with their spouse. The thing is just there, baseline. They may be okay like day to day, but somewhere in your head, you have actually processed the thought that this guy is, maybe he's maintaining his weight, he's chasing his career, he's doing everything he wants to do with his time target. And I am here, I'm stuck because I have to do mothering. And, it could make bitterness to brew if you don't handle it properly. And particularly if you have men. So this is for our men who do not even appreciate or even understand, or try to at least understand the process that a woman is going through. We all are sacrificing, we all are going through something. Fatherhood is also its own process, and because I'm not a man, I may not be able to speak so much about it. But then we need men who can actually understand women in this phase, because a lot is going on. She may feel stuck, and that feeling of being stuck in life, in everything, and it just looks like all I have to do is motherhood. No, can actually make some women to break down mentally. So it's important to process your anger and really figure out what you're angry at, because sometimes you pour the aggression of that anger on the wrong persons, maybe even on the children, maybe on, friends, in-laws, and you're just like, and they're like, what's wrong with you? But really, if you think deep down, and that's why also counseling helps where necessary, you realize that it's just because you feel stuck and it just looks like, okay, my husband is progressing at my expense for our children and all that. So there has to be a balance in all of these things. Some people, it is outright regret, and they're like, why did I even come here? Particularly if it was not a planned pregnancy, and then it alters your life process a whole lot, and you're like, how? Why did I do this in the first place? So everybody responds differently. And one more response that I like to talk about is the resolution to snap back. That one, you're just like, die hard, we must go back to who we were before. Fact check. That person has changed. That person has evolved. Yes, maybe physically you can try to, as much as possible, return back to where you were before. But could you possibly even return 100%? Like, a lot has changed. Is it the scars that you want to reverse? Is it, it's not going to be the same anymore. And the earlier we actually come to terms with it, and that is why, as I was preparing for this podcast, I was remembering the line in some marriage vows: it should not be entered in wantonly or unpreparedly. I really think that it's the same thing with motherhood. I believe it is worth it to process how you get into motherhood and not just let it stumble upon you. Like, get into it consciously, make plans, read, study, prepare for it, so that at the least you are at least informed. Whatever comes, you can know, how to go around and about it, right? So much said. You might want to consolidate this post by, taking a look at my video on ways to cope with postpartum and the changes to expect in postpartum. This might really help somebody or even you yourself. So on this note, I just want to let you know, mamas, that you see this change, it is common to most, if not all. And the best you can do for yourself is to stay strong, make a decision on how you want to accept it, and still be the best of yourself. Don't lose yourself. Even if you now evolve into a different version, accept this new version, love up on this new version, work on this new version, so that it is still the best of yourself. So till I come your way some other time, thank you for stopping by. Stay blessed and beautiful, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.